The movie opens with the celebration of Lucero and Fernando's 20th wedding anniversary, where family and friends have gathered to celebrate their long and lasting marriage. During an emotional speech, Fernando talks about the beautiful memories they've shared together and the challenges they've overcome together. He says that their greatest achievement is their children, and that if he had the chance, he would choose Lucero all over again. However, during the celebration, Lucero runs into her old friend Miguel, a prosecutor whose life is on the verge of falling apart. Desperate for help, Miguel turns to Lucero. Since she's a lawyer, she promises to look into his situation the next day. After the guests leave, the image of a happy marriage begins to fall apart. Lucero confronts Fernando about his recent behavior and the way a woman named Alma has been looking at him. During a tense conversation, Lucero, feeling that the intimacy between them has faded, unexpectedly suggests bringing someone else into their relationship, leaving Fernando completely stunned. The following morning, Lucero promises her daughter Viviana she'll be there for her swimming competition. As the story continues, the tension between Lucero and Fernando remains after the anniversary celebration, and both of them become caught up in their daily routines. Hoping to help Miguel, Lucero goes to the bar of a hotel, where she learns that one terrible mistake has pushed his family life to the edge of collapse. At the same time, Fernando is busy working at the sports complex. As the manager of the facility, he's overseeing the installation of new security cameras, while also repairing the old pool equipment. The story enters a new chapter with the arrival of Matias, the new swimming coach who was once a member of Spain's Olympic team. Handsome, serious, and with a professional athletic background, Matias quickly catches Viviana's attention, and soon afterward, Lucero finds herself drawn to him as well. During their first meeting, Lucero is impressed with his personality, and the first signs of changing feelings toward the young coach begin to appear. On a rainy night, Lucero offers Matias a ride home, and during the drive, a bond begins to grow between them. Matias opens up about how an injury brought his professional career to a painful end, and Lucero admires his determination, bringing them even closer. Before long, their friendship turns into a secret romantic relationship, and they begin spending time together at the same hotel bar where Lucero had met Miguel. Completely caught up in her relationship with Matias, Lucero starts canceling her work plans just to spend time with him. Meanwhile, Viviana's friends begin noticing her change in behavior around Matias. At the same time, Lucero, acting as Miguel's lawyer, becomes involved in a difficult divorce case against Malena. During the case, Malena tries to pressure Lucero by using personal evidence against her. Viviana also develops feelings for Matias and tries to get closer to him, but Matias politely turns her down. The situation becomes even more complicated when Julian, the family's son, overhears a suspicious conversation between his father and Matias. Later, in private, Matias confesses to Lucero that he once struggled with an addiction to painkillers. Because of it, he was forced out of competition, and his life fell apart. When Lucero returns home, she finds Viviana heartbroken after being rejected by Matias. That night, a heavy silence fills the house between Lucero and Fernando. And by the following morning, the tension reaches its peak as Fernando becomes increasingly frustrated. At the same time, Lucero leaves Matias's passionate messages unanswered, and her legal meeting with Malena ends with a hidden threat against her personal life, including evidence of her relationship with Matias. Feeling that everything is slipping out of control, Lucero decides to end the relationship and tells Matias that the romantic words she had said to him were never real. After Malena's threats, Lucero finalizes Miguel's divorce settlement, only to be met with Miguel's angry outbursts and furious messages. At that very moment, Matias unexpectedly walks into her office to talk about their breakup. His sudden appearance leaves Lucero anxious and reignites her determination to end the relationship. In a shocking revelation, Matias tells Lucero that Fernando had known about their relationship from the very beginning. He reveals that Fernando had paid him to secretly record their meetings. According to Matias, Fernando believed this plan would make Lucero feel desired and appreciated again. Hearing the truth, Lucero is completely stunned. She accuses Fernando of betraying her and insists that all the recent chaos was the result of his decisions. The tension reaches its breaking point when Matthias arrives at their house carrying flowers and falsely claims that he's there to ask for Viviana's hand in marriage so he can remain part of the family. After entering the house and talking about Viviana's swimming training, Fernando loses his temper and angrily orders Matthias to stay away from his family. Outside the house, Lucero and Matthias get into a heated argument. Matthias tells Lucero that he has recorded everything and has no intention of hiding the truth. Unaware of what's really happening, Viviana is confused and deeply upset by their parents' behavior, and she leaves the house with Matthias. Meanwhile, it's revealed that before Matthias left, Julian had secretly slipped a sleeping drug into Matthias's water bottle. The following day, the house is filled with silence and worry until Miguel, the family's friend and a prosecutor, arrives with important news. He explains that because of his position, he found out about the incident before anyone else and came to help them. The situation becomes even more complicated when Miguel reveals that an incident involving Matthias took place at the sports complex. Since Lucero and Fernando own the facility, the initial responsibility falls on them. However, the security cameras were turned off when the incident happened. At the same time, Miguel is asked by the family to look after Viviana and take her to the prosecutor's office. Meanwhile, the students' families head to the sports complex, and Fernando goes there to calm the situation. Instead, he takes her to a restaurant so she can calm down before being questioned by the judge. Viviana tells Miguel what happened between her and Matthias. She explains that while she was at the complex's swimming pool, she accidentally saw Matthias's romantic messages to her mother on his phone and discovered the truth. A physical fight breaks out between them, and Viviana pushes Matthias, causing him to hit his head on the ground and start bleeding. A short time later, Fernando arrives. After sending Viviana home, Fernando gets into an argument with Matthias, who insults and humiliates him. While Viviana is still telling Miguel about her confrontation with Matthias, Lucero suddenly calls, desperately asking for her daughter. But instead of reassuring her, Miguel brings up the divorce case again and asks Lucero to influence Milena. At the same time, Fernando tries to distract public attention by spreading rumors outside the sports complex that Matthias is addicted to drugs. Growing even more anxious, Lucero calls Milena and then goes to meet her at the same hotel bar where she used to secretly meet Matthias. There, she admits that her relationship with Matthias came from loneliness and asks Milena to agree to shared custody with Miguel. In the end, Miguel brings Viviana to Fernando, and Lucero arrives shortly afterward before sending her daughter home. Lucero eventually returns to the swimming pool, where she comes face to face with Matthias. He still hopes they can start their relationship again. Matthias desperately asks Lucero to forget the past and build a life together, but Lucero insists that continuing the relationship will only destroy her family. When Matthias refuses to accept that it's over, Lucero makes a deadly decision. She steps into the pool and invites the injured Matthias to join her. Once he gets close, she holds him underwater until he drowns. The following morning, the media reports his death as a suicide. The prosecutor announces that there are no signs of violence, and Matthias's history of drug addiction and mental health struggles only strengthens that conclusion. While everyone believes he took his own life, the heartbreaking truth remains buried inside Lucero alone. And that's how the movie ends.